Wow, we are basically at the finish line with this whole long Xenoblade 3-way. I mean, it really hasn't been that long. If anything, it's been cut short because, the game got pushed forward, which is just absolutely insane. But this video really doesn't have a theme. I mean, it kind of does. I just kind of want to talk about, like, Xenoblade 3 and just, like, random little one-off theories I have and just also just random thoughts about the game as to, close off this, little series that I've done. So I kind of brought it up a few times, but like Xenoblade 3 is totally going to be just the entire story takes play as a play, and when like the game ends, it's gonna cut back, like the curtains are gonna fall back, and then like Minoff or Cole is gonna come out. He's like, so guys, how was the play? And then Rex is gonna be there and like, dude, that was awful. There was so much depression. Why would you write this about Van Damme? Because at the end of Xenoblade, or not the end of Xenoblade 2, after or at the start of Chapter 4 in Xenoblade 2, Rex asks, like, can you write a play about Van Damme? And then Xenoblade 3 is that play about Van Damme. Like, throughout all, like, the trailers, they say, oh yeah, Noah and, like, me are the protagonists. No, it's the Van Damme. That's our protagonist. We actually get to play as him. It's all been a lie. There's, the one line in the direct, like, the beginning bit of the direct, where it's like, we can always go plenty more, which went into the whole theory of cloning being in this game, or like a theory that it is, which is like kind of interesting about that, because it's like, yeah, it's also interesting, but it also gives me hope that like the Kevis and Agnes Queens aren't who they are. Like, sure, they sound like Nia and Melia, but they could be clones, which gives me hope that like the actual Nia and Melia got a nice, happy little ending. I mean, also, I'm still gonna feel bad for the clones, because like they are technically, or not technically, Nia and Melia, and I want them to have a nice ending. So if they're just clones, I mean, that makes me feel slightly better, but not 100% better. And maybe that like whole line about like we can always go plenty more. I kind of curious if that ties into the one line in the very first trailer, or like the reveal, where it's like they're not your friends anymore, they're his fuel. So maybe that ties into that, because like they can grow as like crops or something, and fuel, energy. I know I'm basically relating like life to just crops and farming. I know that's dumb, but like I guess that's the best analogy I can come up with right now. But I wonder who him is, because like, I mean, I doubt it. It's like Zanza, because like Zanza has died, unless he's like back as a force ghost or something. But I don't know if it's gonna be him. Maybe it's probably the organization, like we don't know what they're called, like just the letters, the alphabet organization. But I need to know what they're like. I don't know what their really goal is, because like, I mean, they are the like like the real enemy. Obviously, it's not Kevis or Agnes is the enemy. Like, they're the real enemy. But like, what are they trying to do? Like, they just want to have war just to have war? Because like, that just seems dumb. Also, I guess back on the like your war topic. I mean, not really back. I mean, talking about war in this, but how is like the rules of Ionios like came into play? Because maybe it's like due to the conduit disappearing at the end of Xenoblade 2, and that caused the worlds to have like this like 10-year lifespan thing. Actually, no, it's not true, because obviously there's gonna be older people. It's just like they have the tattoo, then they have like a 10-year lifespan, which I think the tattoo gives them like the power to summon like their weapon, like the blades that they can have, and like swap with them. Like, no, I never used this kind of blade before, and all that. So that's where they get their 10-year lifespan. And I'm guessing, obviously, actually no, can you extend that 10-year life? Because it sounds like you can. I'm guessing if you kill enough, you can just suck up their life and just extend life. But if like you're an off-seer, you send like those people that have died off, so they don't get returned to like the flame clock. I'm guessing people's flame clock, so they can go to the afterlife. Maybe I mean, who knows? Or maybe I don't know. But I'm trying to get at. I'm just like, I guess afterlife. It's Elysium 2. Speaking of, I guess, Elysium. I don't have any theories on returning characters. I mean, I already earlier with this whole series, I talked about like my biggest fear, and just to summarize, it's basically I just want Rex, Pyra, Mythra to be together through the entirety of like well, other than that, the game's not the right, like, what I'm trying to say, but, like, I just want the three of them to be together, whether if that's, like, you know, they're in the story, or, like, you can go see them, like, they're chilling in the house, like, in, like, Letheria, or, like, what was Letheria, and they're just, you know, having the good life, or, you know, they're all resting together. I don't want just, like, Pyra and Mythra to be around and Rex isn't with them, or Rex is around and Pyra and Mythra aren't. Just that's basically what my fear was. If you really want to know more, I mean, you can go back and watch that. But, like, other returning characters, there is, like, the one, like, the challenge battle thing. Obviously, with, like, Poppy, I also talked about that in, like, the expansion pass video. I'm just kind of bringing back up things that I've talked about, which, I mean, I guess it's fitting for this, like, kind of last video with this whole series to do that. But, like, maybe that's not a Poppy, or it's, like, just, like, a Mega Man-like thing, where it's, like, Poppy X, or X Poppy, kind of, like, similar to that. Because, I mean, I'm still scared that if we do find Poppy in, like, some wreckage, like, I don't know, in Torrigoth, where Tora's house was, that, like, we find her, and, like, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want Poppy to be widowed. Unless Tora somehow put his, like, brain inside, like, a toaster, so, like, he's still alive, technically. I know the big thing, especially with, like, the Direct, that they teased a bunch, and they, not really teased it, but, like, they gave us the information, like, one time when they told us how old Mia was. Especially, like, you know, the Direct, they teased that a bunch, because, you know, 3 more months, and then Mia's gonna, you know, die, which, God, I'm not ready for that. I don't want to lose Mio. Mio is probably, you know, my favorite character in Xenoblade 3 they've shown us so far. I mean, like, you know, there's Senna, Uni, and, like, Noah, and Ethel are, like, contenders. I mean, technically Mio's also a contender, but, like, I'm putting my money on Mio. Also, like, you know, the Keps and Agnes Queens, if, you know, they are Nia and Melia, which, that's kind of not fair. I'm only counting, like, really new characters, because, like, of course, if it's Nia and Melia, like, those are, like, both, like, my second favorite character. I mean, Nia's got the slight edge. I mean, that's what I feel right now. And then Melia's, like, not very close behind her. And, you know, some days I had put Melia over Nia, but, like, that's not important. I've already talked about that. I'm scared just for Mia. I don't want to lose her, and just, I feel that's going to be an important part of, like, the story with, like, Mio and, like, just all that, and just, they don't need to do that to me. We can have a nice happy ending. I know this game is going to be really depressing, which, they actually, Monosoft, or just, like, Takahashi, like, they've had, like, a little interview, like, Ask the Developers thing, and there's, like, a little part in it, like, I don't remember exactly where it is, but I read a little part where it's, like, talking about, like, the theming of Xenoblade games, where he talked about, like, Xenoblade 1's, like, you know, more straightforward, and, like, sure, it has, like, some kind of dark parts, but it's more kind of, like, lighthearted. Well, Xenoblade 2 starts off way more lighthearted, but it becomes, like, really dark, like, a lot darker compared to Xenoblade 1 later on, and then, like, 3's, like, unhinged, where it's just apparently just gonna be dark throughout the entirety thing, which is like, okay, great, I can't wait to be depressed the entirety of the way through. Cool, thanks, Takahashi. But maybe I'm hoping, sure, it's gonna be dark throughout the entire game, but please give me a happy ending. I don't want a depressing ending, please. Please, I would like to have I mean, no matter, even if it's a happy ending, I'm still gonna cry, because, like, Xenoblade 1 has a really just nice bookend and happy end, and, you know, I cried during that, and 2 is, I mean, is a lot more depressing, and sure, and, like, the final shot is, like, you know, a lot more happy, but still cried about that. I already know I'm going to cry about 3. And, I mean, I kind of have. There's, like, the one ending shot with, actually, well, that's not true. You know, the reveal trailer, cried about that. But, like, going back and watching, like, the Xenoblade 3 Direct, and, like, the final shot, where it's like, thank you for watching this presentation about Xenoblade 3, and, like, enjoy your adventures in Ionios. And just has, like, the entire party on a cliff just looking out, and, like, that music that playing alongside it, it just, I don't know why, it gets me emotional. Xenoblade music just always gets me just emotional. Which, speaking of music, oh my god, back on topic with, like, the interview, like, the second part, apparently, Monosoft, they made, like, Noah and Mio's flutes for the music, just because they can. Like, there's no reason, they don't need to do that. Like, you could have just got 2 flutes and just say, oh, we, you know, flutes, obviously, because of the music. No, they're like, we gotta make Noah and Mio's flutes for this. It's like, you didn't need to do that. That is so cool. And it's not like just, oh, we put, like, an outline over, like, a regular flute. No, like, they actually made Noah and Mio's flutes from, like, scratch. Like, they got, like, you know, craftsman's people to, you know, make it. And that's, like, so cool. And if they sell those, like, I want both. I want them both. I mean, there's a lot of Xenoblade like related merchandise. I really do want to get like, you know, the Pyra Mythra figures and like the Nia and Melia one, but those cost like each like $200 about roughly, and I mean, I'll do it eventually. I know one day I'm gonna get them all, and then, you know, if I play Xenosaga, you know, Cosmos, and I think Telos has one. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm just, you know, misremembering, or maybe I had a dream about that. Telos had one. But you know, I would like to get that one as well after I play Xenosaga, which after Xenoblade 3, and I'm, you know, done being emotional about the game, which that's gonna be a long time, because I know after I beat Xenoblade 3, I'm gonna want to replay the game again, New Game Plus, just to, like, you know, I like to do that. I did it with both 2 and 1 just to catch on to hints, and then who knows, maybe after I finish that, I'll go replay Xenoblade 2 again, or Definitive, even though I've already done that technically before, you know, the game came out. I already did that. I did have, like, you know, a whole, I was playing through of Xenoblade 2. I never finished all the videos. I mean, I finished it on my own time, just to know I could, but like all the videos posted, I haven't done that. And maybe after Xenoblade 3 and I post, you know, my initial playthrough, I'll probably go back and like work on those and get those posted eventually. Which, you know, speaking of like Xenoblade 3 content, obviously, you know, I'm going to play the game. What I plan on doing is just more of a highlight reel, kind of similar to what I used to do in content, but maybe not as edited with like, oh, funny sound effect play here. I'm probably gonna be a lot more serious, and it's probably gonna be like chapter based, where like, oh, chapter 1 will be its own video, or probably, you know, the prologue in chapter 1 if there is like that, and then like 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'll group 1 and 2 together if they're short, but then like 3 will be its own, 4 will be its own, 5, 6, you know, so on and so forth until the game's over. And then eventually when like the expansion pass comes out with all that content, I'm not sure how I'll do that. Like that challenge battle, maybe I'll just do that as like a one-off video, just like a traditional like edited one. But then like the story expansion, that will be like more of the highlighty role that I'm gonna do for 3. So that's the plan for content on, you know, Xenoblade 3. I think that'll hopefully, you know, do well. I mean, I don't care if it really does well. This is more just personally for my sake, so I can at least go back and rewatch my reactions to scenes, because that was kind of the thing I'm a little disappointed on that I didn't do for Xenoblade 2 and Definitive Edition, especially for Xenoblade 2, because like, didn't really know how good Xenoblade was going into that. I just knew people say, oh, it's really good, and like people say, oh, 2's not as good as Definitive Edition or 1, and just being blown away by those games, just it was such a good feeling. So at least for 3, I'll have my reactions, and hopefully, you know, I mean, there'll be reactions, there'll be something, all right. Which that I kind of just brought up, but that story expansion I'm really looking forward to, because it has like, you know, the Monado and Aegis sword. So if we do get to see like Rex and like Pyra, Mythra, and Shulk and all that, that's gonna be really nice. But also I'm scared, because if it's gonna be like Torna, where base game, we know what's gonna happen in that expansion, they bring it up, and then we got to see it in person in Torna, and just like, no, I'm not ready for that. Because I feel like the expansion's gonna be a lot like depressing, because like it leads into that. Or maybe, you know, just like, oh, Rex, Pyra, Mythra, and Shulk, like say, all right, we're dipping, we're going to Smash Bros. This world's we're done here, we're off. So maybe that's, you know, game theory, headcanon. That's, you know, that's the theory now. I mean, I know Xenoblade 3 is gonna be depressing, but just like also with the direct, seeing those like the one scene, the iconic. I mean, the game's not even. I mean, it's kind of out, but like, just for like the memes about it, like the war scene with Mio. Luckily, I just with them showing that, I'm thankful, or betting on that there's gonna be like a lot like nice like heartwarming scenes like that, or just like, you know, funny scenes, because those are always some of my favorites. Like obviously, you know, the fight scenes are always, you know, really good, and those are awesome. But like some of the lighthearted scenes from Xenoblade 2 and Definitive Edition, or sorry, Xenoblade 1. I don't know why I keep saying Definitive Edition. I mean, because I played that one, but not 1. You know what I'm trying to say, but like those scenes, those nice, calm, heartwarming scenes are always some of my favorites. I know Xenoblade 3 is obviously, just from like trailers and all that, the cinematography on the fight scenes are just gonna be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for those. And the music, God, the music is gonna be so good. I've tried my absolute best to not listen to any of the Xenoblade 3 music, because like, obviously Monolith, or Monopon's been posting like stuff about Xenoblade 3 on the Funny Bird app, and I've been like pretty much watching that every single day. She posts these last few couple days. I've been watching some of it, but when it's that music track, I just dip, because I'm like, I want to hear it in game. I just want to get my reaction. So like the only songs I've heard are The Weight of Life, A Life Set On, Kevis Battle, and You Will Know Our Names finale. Those are the only 4. and they have posted, obviously, I'm guessing like the Gower Plains music, Milk Meadows, another battle theme, the vocal theme, and like Chain Attack has its own music, which is like, I'm super excited to hear that. I'm like, bro, Chain Attack gets its own music? No way. How am I supposed to listen to the battle theme? Because that's how I used to listen to the battle theme, I pause in a Chain Attack. I mean, no. I know the Chain Attack music is going to be insanely good. It just, I can't wait to hear the music. I'm just going to like sit there and just take it all in. I'm probably just going to get myself killed a bunch of times in battle, just like trying to listen, just vibing to the music. That's another thing I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm looking forward to the entirety of the game. But, I mean, like I just said, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm kind of sad that, like, I mean, this is really weird to say, but like, I'm kind of sad that Xenoblade 2 won't be like the newest game, even though it hasn't been the newest game for like a long time, because like, you know, Torna Definitive Edition. But like, I'm just kind of weird like that. I don't know why. Even though I didn't even play Xenoblade 2 when it came out, like, I played Xenoblade in 2020, so like Definitive Edition was the newest game, and it wasn't even the newest. I don't know where my brain's at. It just feels kind of weird. I guess because like won't see as much like Xenoblade 2 related content for like a long time, because like 3 will be taking up the spotlight, which, I mean, yeah, that makes sense, you know, but you make content on the newest game because it's like the, you know, newest thing. But I know I'm gonna, you know, eventually want to come back and just obviously, you know, finish the Xenoblade 2 playthrough and eventually do other Xenoblade 2 stuff, because like Xenoblade 3 is gonna be a masterpiece. We all know that. Like, it's going to be an amazing game. Like, at the bare minimum, I already know it's going to be top 3 for me of my favorite games of all time. But I don't know if it's gonna beat out Xenoblade 2 for me, and like Xenoblade 2 is still gonna be an important game to me. Like, even if, let's say, hypothetically, Xenoblade 3 does become my favorite game of all time, it's not gonna have the effect that Xenoblade 2 had, because I just played Xenoblade 2 at like the perfect time in my life, and going into the series not knowing really anything about it, just is going to hit harder, I feel like, compared to me knowing, you know, about 2 games and like a bunch of like lore stuff. And that's me rambling about that. I'm still obviously, you know, mega excited. I mean, this whole video series should be proof that I've been, you know, mega excited. This was like kind of planned like a few weeks in advance. I mean, I had the idea like a few months beforehand. I'm like, well, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. And then like it got closer. I'm like, you know what, let's do this. It'll be fun. And you know, it was fun. It did help the wait. I mean, there's still one more day to go, so hopefully this last day won't be as much of a wait. And I like how I said one more day, but since I ordered or pre-ordered the Xenoblade 3 Special Edition, you know, from our great, love the website, Nintendo.com store, I'm scared I'm probably not going to get it on the day of release, because knowing Nintendo and knowing me, that's not going to happen. And it'll be like the weekend. Like, I'm sure they don't do like ship stuff on the weekend, or maybe Saturday, but like, you know, Sunday they won't. So I feel like I'm not going to get it for a few days, which I'm just going to be going absolutely insane. And I feel like it's going to be super hard to avoid spoilers, because like, I mean, I've been trying to, obviously. I mean, it hasn't been that hard, because like, ever since I said, alright, I'm going to be like, getting off the internet, I did for like a little bit, like the first like 2 days, but then I slowly kind of came back to see if it was safe. And like some spots are, like surprisingly, Bird app is safe on there. At least for me it was, so I stayed on there a little bit. YouTube comments, I mean, I usually kind of read all the comments I get, but like, I've been a little scared to read some of them, because like, especially the Xenoblade 3 videos, I just don't want to get one that says, oh, well, Xenoblade 3 is actually wrong, because like this thing happens in 3. I'm like, I don't want to see it. So I haven't been reading any comments, so I'm avoiding that. But like, when the game drops, I literally have to get off the internet, even with like everything. I just cannot look at anything, because I just don't want to see it. So hopefully I get the game day of, so I can just like turn the internet off and just enjoy that. It's gonna be super fun and super great. It's gonna be a fun time, this Passage of Fate, even though it's gonna be a wild ride, this Passage of Fate, but you know what I mean. Also, like the memes, I can't wait just for like memes. Obviously, you know, Wata and It's a Wild Ride Passage of Fate with the game. It's gonna be a great time with all those. Looking forward to like other, you know, Xenoblade content from other people, like, you know, memes obviously, and then seeing people's reactions after, you know, I beat the game. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. Probably, who knows, a month. That's how roughly what it was for Definitive in 2. So that'll be about, yeah, a month. So, and luckily this is like during, you know, my summer break, so I have the time, because like September I would be in school doing all the boring that, and it'd be a lot harder and maybe be a little slower. Actually, maybe I'll be able to finish the games faster since, because like I played those during like school and I had like school stuff to do. So maybe I'll finish it slightly faster, but I probably won't because I feel like Xenoblade 3. I mean, we don't know how big it is, but like I feel I'm gonna be doing a lot of exploring because I want to explore the world and like doing all the combat and like getting everyone's classes with all the master arts with like the heroes and doing the hero side quests and just like taking it in. Maybe not even like making progress some days and just like taking it in. Which, speaking of that, I feel like there's gonna be some days I'm not gonna record. I know I want to record everything, but like especially story stuff I'm going to record. But like I feel like there's gonna be some sessions I just like, you know, I just kind of want to play Xenoblade 3 without recording and just do some side quests or whatever and just like look around the world and just try to get a little better at the combat. Which I feel like I have faith I won't be that bad at the combat because like, you know, I love Xenoblade 2s and I got a good understanding on 2s, and I mean definitive editions and 1s isn't really that similar. 2s is definitely, if I had to compare the two, 2 is definitely similar, more similar to 3. So I got a good understanding of that combat. I feel like I'll do well enough. I know I'm gonna get killed by the funny monkey. I would think everyone does, so that'll be a fun time. And just, man, I can't wait for this game. It's only one day, less than 24 hours, and we'll be playing Xenoblade 3.